Let's give me a moment, gentlemen and ladies and emperors. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, just setting things up. Getting this party started. Oh, let me edit my YouTube title. Coming, Ethan Klein. I'm running behind, gang. Boop. Okay, I changed it. I think we're good. I think we're live. I think yeah, I think we're live. I'm pretty sure we're live. I hope you guys can hear me. Yeah, so I wasn't gonna go live right away, but Tuna Chip wanted me to in order to raid into him at 7, right? So I'm gonna collect you all in my web for his show first. Okay, we're gonna reel you in, my dudes and dudettes. Let me actually advertise my show. That would be nice if I did that. A moment, please. Boom, 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 ba, ba, bow. Wow, what are we doing today, gang? Are we having fun? I'll wait for everyone to kind of get here. Bum, 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 bum. It's Friday. Are you guys excited for Dune 2? I'm excited for Dune 2. I'm going to go see it tomorrow. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Okay, I'm waiting as you all kind of like shuffle in, okay, before we kind of get into it. Yeah, 𝕵𝖎𝖙, Ethan Klein, strongest soldier. I think I'm becoming it. It's wild. I don't even watch the man usually, right? I've only seen like maybe 2 things he's ever done. Mostly I just see clips of him, and mostly it's clips that are designed to make him out to be some sort of monster. But then I watch these clips, and what he's saying is just eminently reasonable. Sometimes it's much more left than I am, right? It's just reasonable shit. Like normie shit. And the fact that they are going at him, right, for the most generic takes, the most mashed potatoes takes, okay, on everything, right? Like on the self-immolation guy, right? If you remember that, basically he did a whole spiel where he was like, self-immolation is bad. We shouldn't romanticize it. But hey, the guy was a trooper, really believed in what he did, etc. He willing to die for the cause. You know, you got to give the man the courage of his convictions there, right? But he's still getting attacked as if he like pissed on his ashes or something. It's wild. Wild. Why are you going after this man for that? Why? Why are you attacking this man for basically saying what's just true? That you shouldn't romanticize suicide. You absolutely shouldn't, gang. It's bad. It hurts people. It's not a victimless crime. He had loved ones. He had a family, right? Presumably he had friends, okay? He did real damage to him. It's not nothing. I don't understand. Like, I think a lot of people just I don't even know. It's like they're trying to turn this guy into this martyr, okay? Into this kind of like deification. They're treating him as sacred in a real way, okay? And I think that's a problem for a variety of reasons, okay? We know that glorification of self-deletion, right? It leads to people doing it more. It's just a kind of a contagion effect in a real way. And gang, you know what? This isn't the first time in the last 2 months that this has happened. The serviceman who did this, it was his second. That was the second person to set themselves ablaze in front of an Israeli embassy or a consulate or something, right? The first one was in Georgia, in front of the Israeli consulate there. I didn't know they had a consulate in Georgia, But someone in December of 2023 lit themselves on fire to free Palestine, right? Burned themselves to death. No one talked about it. You didn't hear about it. They didn't live stream it, to be clear. But he's the second person to do this. And the Bronze Miracle, thank you for your Prime sub. Really appreciate you, gang. Again, we are going live. And again, I'm running behind. But we are going live because at 7 o'clock, we're going to be raiding into Tuna Chip because we are going to be doing some nostalgia, gang. We are going to be talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yes, those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Not the new stuff, the old stuff, the 80s stuff, the 90s stuff, right? The Go Ninja, Go stuff, right? Of the movies, the old movies. You guys remember that? Maybe you don't, but I do. And so Tuna Chip is doing a new podcast, and he invited me to come on, and he asked me, like, what about your childhood did you particularly remember fondly? Like, what media, what kind of movie or show did you really get into? And I was a turtle head, okay, back in the day. Turtle with a half shell, okay. When I was a child, yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Gang, are you guys alive? Can you guys hear me? Like, no one's chatting. Everyone's all quiet today. Usually I can play off chat, but you're there. I see you, right? I see you, but you're all chat, like, just kind of chilling, I guess. Cowabunga indeed. Symbol Law. Welcome. At least Symbol Law can talk. At least his little keyboard works. Or her, I'm not actually sure. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know. It just frustrates me, gang. It really does. This whole talk about the servicemen who killed themselves. Like, gang, you do realize that servicemen kill themselves all the time, right? It's a pandemic. It's a problem. It's been so for years. For years. They've just offed themselves at severely high rates. I don't know if it's the highest, but it is one of the highest groups, the most at-risk groups for self-deletion, okay? This happens all the time to both active service members and veterans, okay? They're always doing this. It's a real problem, okay? But suddenly, everyone's like, no, we have to be really reverent when we talk about this one particular guy because he did it for Palestine. No, we don't. Why would we? Yo, these same people are the same people who made little dance TikToks when the Queen of England died, right? And who made little Rip Bozo memes when the political pundit they didn't like bit the dust, right? It's the same people who talked about how they were glad some motherfucker died horrifically of cancer, right? These are the people that are telling you, how dare you say something that's irreverent about this guy who lit himself on fire? These are those people. They're not serious people. They're not. They love to celebrate death for whatever reason, whether it to be mock it or to revere it. And I don't understand it. I legit don't. Cerna says, do you think this is one comparable to active duty and veterans that commit suicide? It's pretty damn close. Yes. They do so in horrific ways. Sometimes they don't just take themselves out. Okay? This is a problem. It's a real problem. The difference, the variable that is separate is twofold. Okay? There are two variables here that separate him. He live streamed himself doing it. That's not something that usually happens. And two, he claims he did it for Palestine. Okay, and I believe he did. Right? No reason to doubt his word there. That said, we don't romanticize it. We don't glorify it. We don't normalize it. When it happens, we tell people this is bad. This is wrong. This should not have happened. And this isn't just with him, okay? Those monks who set themselves ablaze and stuff like that, that also is something that they should not do. It is wrong. Suicide is wrong. It is immoral, gang, okay? Like, there are some cases, if you have a huge Like, if you're about to die in 3 months anyway, like if you have a terminal diagnosis, you got cancer, okay, you got 6 months to live or something, I understand it. I still don't condone it, but I understand it. I get it. I understand it. Okay, I do. But this ain't that. Look, like I said originally when it happened, it's far easier to die for a cause than it is to live for a cause. Living for your values is hard. It takes hard work. And I guarantee you, Palestine would have benefited more from this man who cared so deeply about them being alive and working for them, right? Working towards peace. That's what we want. I want soldiers on the streets working for peace. Okay, that's what we need in this situation. We don't need more death. There's enough death already. There's people being bombed. There's people being kidnapped. There's people being held hostage. We don't need more death. More death will not solve this issue. It won't. More death will not solve this. And I take umbrage at these motherfuckers coming at just the normalest of normal takes on this. Okay? No Cal Mike says, I didn't see the Ethan thing, but was he mocking the guy or what? I agree we don't have to martyrize him, but why is mocking him any better? He wasn't mocking him. You know what? Let's play the clip. Give me 1 second. Let me find it, and I will let you all hear for yourself. Okay? You can decide, kings and queens. Okay? You can decide whether or not this man was being critical. Let me find the post. A moment, please. Okay, there's that. Okay, let's pause it. Can I make this, can I pop this out? Oh, that doesn't really work. Here, let me look. Oh, you can kind of see it there. Let me adjust for you, kings. Okay, oops, wrong one. Let me adjust it for you a little bit. Okay, he's playing. I don't want him playing. I don't want him playing right now. Jeez, what are you doing? Okay. And it's not that one. It's the one before. We'll listen to all the clips, okay? We'll listen to all the clips. Here.
My first reaction.
Let's go.
Is this. It was absolutely insane how he, like, stood the whole time. That was crazy. I don't even know how that's humanly possible. Again, not to put this uncouth, but he's a champ at fucking burning alive. I mean, that sounds bad, but he did it really good. Does that sound bad? We have to make levity of things. Does that sound bad that he was really good? I mean, but I mean that as a compliment. What the fuck are you guys angry about, you weirdos? What did I do? My God, stop. They're just saying all I hear is Ethan no, but I don't understand what I've even fucking said. Oh, chewing? Yeah, I'll stop that. Maybe they're just talking about the chewing. Could that be?
Yeah, that's probably it.
Wait, what did I even say that to mean? Like, give me a fucking break. Holy shit. Didn't the guy do it because he wanted people to talk about it? Like that's what I'm doing. My point is this. First of all, I was stunned by the way that he stood through the whole thing. I mean, shit, that was wild. And really showed his true resolve to protest in that way. I can only imagine that's just a horrific way to die, so pretty wild. That being said, I do not believe that it is good for people to be romanticizing or encouraging. I know it's not. I know people aren't doing that, but like the way people are romanticizing it is kind of fucked up, in my opinion. The man, he killed himself, and I don't think we should ever talk about that issue with any kind of reverence. Because let's be real, the amount of people online who are talking about it in this like wonderful, almost like I don't describe it. People are trying to where I put it. People are idolizing him. More people are going to kill themselves. I mean, that's just a matter of fact. It's just there's just more people going to kill themselves. I don't think suicide's funny. I don't think it's anything that we should encourage. I think it's pretty much always bad. And while I can appreciate his dedication, I mean, to put it mildly, you know, if I can appreciate his dedication, and his conviction, right? I mean, unbelievable. Self-immolation is literally suicide. He killed himself. Sorry, I don't know what that's another weird dialogue. They go, no. Everybody goes, yeah, we agree, suicide's bad, get help. But then they go, unless you're doing it for a good cause, then you can kill yourself. Like, no, this is not something to romanticize ever.
He's just right. He's just correct. Why are you mad? He's just right. Why are you upset at this? That's a reasonable take. He made the slightest of slight levity joke at the beginning, but then he explained how he really did think this guy had the courage of his convictions. He went through and he explained it, right? And he kind of laid out his larger point. Nothing wrong with it. In fact, that's how most people view this, right? That's how most people treat this. Wow, damn, that was people deal with tragedy in a variety of ways, right? Humor, gallows humor, things like that is something that people do all the time, right? They do it to their own plights. They do it to the plights of others, their friends and families, etc. This happens. Again, it's a coping mechanism for whatever reason, because this man's death was tragic. It was tragic. It was tragic. Ice Beans, thank you for the subscription. I really appreciate you. Saturatory Ape says, Wick, while it is terrible and sad that the man took his life over this, the far left progressives need to be mocked, shamed, and ridiculed over this. Their tactics are hurting critical mass, and we're not. I don't understand that last line. Their tactics are hurting critical mass, and we're not. What does that mean? I don't know. But Romeo and Juliet romantic suicides, yeah, that was bad too. Shakespeare was bad too for romanticizing suicides, for the Opheliaization of women's self-harm, right? Turning the death of women into a plot point, right? There's their inability to be with the one they love, so they kill themselves. That's something that they, Ophelia, right? You guys remember from Hamlet? I think it was Hamlet. Pretty sure it was Hamlet. Yeah, it was really bad. Saturatory Ape says their tactics are hurting critical mass, and we're not far from seeing political violence escalate. Well, we've already seen political violence escalate, right? There's already been terrible things. And again, like I said before, most of you were here. This is not the first one. This guy, the serviceman, was not the first to do this. In December, there was a woman who did it in front of the Atlanta, Georgia, Israeli consulate. She lit herself on fire to free Palestine. She self-immolated. No one knew about it or heard about it because she didn't live stream it, right? But this is already the second incident, okay? Jessica Johnson, I won. Did you? Well, you did win because you're here. Cernus says, I haven't seen the romanticism of this. I've only seen the dismissiveness. Okay, well, let me show you the romanticization of this, Cernus. Let me go through it. Oops, wrong one. Let's go through it together here. Let me get you to what you want, okay? Who specifically? Because someone else asked me this earlier. Like, who's doing this? As if it's not happening. Here's a few, okay? Making little shrines, okay? That's romanticizing it. Let's see. Oh, putting it, message to 𝕵𝖎𝖙. His picture is carried throughout Gaza, show appreciation and saluting his courage. Rest in peace. That's romanticizing it, right? Like, he's always going to be remembered. Oh, here's more, right? From the heart of Gaza, activists carried the picture of 𝕵𝖎𝖙 saluting his courage and promising not to ever forget him. Rest in power, 𝕵𝖎𝖙. And all these guys romanticizing it. This is he's being turned into a fucking martyr. Like, what are you talking about? You haven't seen anyone romanticizing him. This was something I pulled up for this dude in 30 seconds. I'm sure if you Google this guy's name on Twitter, you'll find tons more of people making him they're building shrines. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a mural up somewhere at this point, okay? It's absolutely the glorification and the martyrdom of making into a martyr of someone who lit themselves on fire. And it's wrong. It's bad. It's going to lead to more. Is that romantic? It's absolutely romanticizing it. It absolutely is romanticizing it. I don't know how else you can see that. You don't need to shame him either, right? You don't need to, like, shame him, but a joke or two is okay. It's not the end of the world. It's crass. It's crude. But once again, remember, most of the people who are wagging their fingers at those making a light joke or something, or Ethan Klein's statement that we read earlier, most of these people are the same people who made TikTok dances when the Queen of England died, who made Rip Pack Bozo when that one red pill influencer died, right? The black man, I forget his name, right? These people don't really care about death, or no, about making or mocking death. They only care when it's their guys, okay? When it's the quote unquote their people. They don't care about it, not really. It's not a principle they actually hold. Yeah, so I don't Kevin Samuels, thank you. But yeah, it again, him, and I remember when Rush Limbaugh died too. Rest in piss, Rush Limbaugh. They would make all these memes, and like there's still memes going around of Ronald Reagan burning in hell and things like that. They don't care. This isn't something that they actually care about. That's all I'm saying, okay? That's all I'm saying. It's whenever someone comes at you like, "Oh, you're a monster for not being reverent around this man's death," because again, you don't even have to mock them for them to be mad at you. Okay? You just if you're irreverent in any manner, you're going to be attacked. Okay? Ethan Klein, he made the lightest of light jokes, but he spoke in pretty glowing terms about this man, right? He praised his conviction, praised his courage, said his cause was righteous and just. But because he didn't show proper reverence, he's being excoriated. He's being attacked. They are attempting to make this man holy, sacred, an icon, an idol. And I don't think that's right. I think that's wrong, in fact. I think that's dangerous, in fact. I think that's going to lead to more death, in fact. And like I said, this problem doesn't need more death. More death will not solve this problem. Palestine will not be free because you end your life. Don't burn yourself to death. No matter how righteous the cause. Don't do it. Sorry, it makes me... I get heated about this topic. That wasn't a pun. Sorry. I get passionate about this topic. Again, when I was in the military, served for 6 years, gang. 6. And during those 6 years, my coworkers, people, in one case, one of my instructors, right? My coworkers, 7 of them ended their lives. 7 in 6 years. I saw the impact on their families. I saw the impact on their workplace. I saw the impact on their friends. I know what this does to a community, to a family, to people around them. So people saying, "Oh, he didn't hurt anyone else," are full of shit. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't. Don't you dare glorify this man. He's not a hero. Look, I get upset because it's upsetting. And And see, this is the thing. This is the sad fact of it. It's not a left or a right problem. Because you know for goddamn well, if someone had done this for like a pro-Israel cause, right? If someone had gone in and lit themselves in front of I don't know, some Palestinian protest, if they had lit themselves on fire, screaming free hostages, free all the hostages, free Gaza from Hamas, you know that the other side would be praising it and trying to make an idol of this, of whoever did that as well. And I would be equally disgusted with it. And I use that word on purpose, disgusted. It makes me sick. Makes me sick. God. 𝕵𝖎𝖙 says, I think we can respect his conviction. He was actually willing to stand by his opinions more than that of most of the so-called activists. However, what he did doesn't affect anything in Gaza. It doesn't create more sympathy or empathy for Palestinian people. It's not like he brought awareness to what's going on. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can acknowledge that, yes, he absolutely really believed in what he believed in. But I think that's probably as far as you could take it. And this is the thing. Even if it worked, it would still be wrong. You were on the bodies, right? This is why I have real problems with how Israel's conducting this war as well, right? I don't think they're taking enough care for civilian casualties. Again, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be able to defend themselves. I'm not saying they shouldn't be able to kill Hamas. I hope every Hamas member catches a bullet. I hope every single one, okay? Right? The problem is the way they're conducting it is clearly over the top in many instances. Not all. Again, I wouldn't accuse them of indiscriminate bombing in general, right? It's just not true. But man, Netanyahu's not a good man, okay? He's not a good guy. They're not doing good things over there. And then Hamas. Every civilian casualty helps Hamas. They want more civilian casualties. That it is by design, right? They want more of this because they think it'll help them win the war. And what we're doing is we are building up a monument of bodies and stacking it to the heavens and lighting them on fire so that their smell ascends, right? And we are trying to say that this is somehow going to free Palestine or bring peace to the region. Bullshit. Bullshit. Do I know the answer? No. Violence is going to be part of the answer, unfortunately. I don't know. Okay. What the Palestinian people need are folks to go and do the real work, to organize, to build connections, to build political power, to work both within Palestine and without in order to build some kind of coalition that can do two things. Okay? Two things. Oust Hamas and become disentangled from the Israeli state. And those are both tall orders. I don't know how to fix them. But what I do know is it's going to take people who are still alive working their asses off day in, day out to get this done. It's going to be hard labor. It's going to be the process of, dare I say it, a lifetime. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to take 5 minutes. I don't know. Caleb says, Ethan not owning up to being a Zionist is lame, though, because I'm pretty sure he technically would be. But when people call you that, it's usually not what it means. So it depends on how you're defining Zionist. Like, if you are saying Zionist is someone who believes Israel should exist, then there are a lot of Zionists out there. But I think that's not what most people mean when they call you a Zionist. I could be wrong. But yeah, if that's all it is, if a Zionist is someone who believes Israel should exist, then I'm a Zionist. If that's all it is. But I don't know if that's all it is. I think there's a lot more to it. And I know a lot of people will attach all sorts of weight to it as well. It's one of those labels that comes with a lot of baggage, right? So it's a shortcut. They can't call you wrong. They can't call you hateful. They can't call you any of these things because you've not done any of those things. But what they can call you is label, right? Whether it be Zionist, whether it be conservative, whether it be a leftist, whether it be a liberal, whatever label they don't like, okay? And they'll let and all that extra stuff, the stuff that they can't really point out anything you've done, comes attached to that label. And so when people in their group, right, see this label attached to you, they know, right? They know that you are the wrong kind of person. You are bad. And it frees them to do all sorts of things, right? Yeah. Yeah. Melody Mel. Yes, furry instead of fury. Kinky sex. What are we talking about? Fury. Furries here. Where did furry... Hold, chat. What are you doing? Why are we talking about furries? Why are we discussing furries right now? What's going on? What are you all up to? Man, I should read chat more. Am I a multiculturalist? What do you mean by a multiculturalist? INMT? ENMT 30? What do you mean by a Why aren't I WhickTV? Why aren't I what? Why aren't I a furry? Because I think furries are weird. And I don't like to dress up as animals usually. Puppy outfit aside that some of you may have seen back in the day. Oh, why am I not talking about furries? Because we have other things I'm mad at right now. I'm mad at how people are going after and demonizing Ethan Klein. Again, I don't watch a lot of his stuff. I've only seen a few of his things, but every time I'm shared a clip or shared a segment or an episode that he's done where, again, the people who share the clip are saying he's being monstrous or evil or wrong. And then I listen to the clip and I listen to the episode and it's just the most normal, sane, decent talking points. Like, again, I don't agree with Ethan Klein on a lot of what he says, actually. I think he's far to the left of me. But I think that, like, overall, he comes from a place of sanity, right? Like, I can talk with the man. I can actually, have a conversation and have a disagreement and not think he's batshit. And that's rare, okay? That's getting rarer. I can, however, right, watch these clips that they say he's a monster for, and I can just be like, but he's just saying don't kill yourselves. He's just saying don't light yourself on fire. It's bad, and you shouldn't celebrate it. That's what he said. There's other clips, right? Like, there's more clips. You guys want to do one more clip? We can do one more clip. Let me get back to it before I get blocked. Here's the second clip. Okay, let me pause it. Bring it up. You guys ready? Clip number 2. What was it not going?
I don't think we should romanticize it. I haven't seen anyone romanticizing. Are you fucking kidding me? Have you been online? Everybody's glamorizing it. Oh my God, how can you even disagree with me on that? That's crazy. Like the amount of people online who are like, I understand why people want to go like, he's a hero. Like I understand that because he made this ultimate sacrifice in the most gruesome way possible, right? And so I understand the impulse of being like, I want to honor that sacrifice. Monks do self-immolation. Yeah, I know. When they're like under tyrannical oppression by the Chinese and have literally no way for the voices to be heard. But I mean, the Palestinian cause is for sure plenty talked about.
Normal shit. There's another clip here. Again, he's being apparently this guy's telling us why he's a monster, okay? These are the clips he's using to show he's a monster. Let's go look. Let's see what he has to say.
Mental illness can be present and moral goodness can also be present at the same time. And I think that that's just like, I don't understand when people say it wasn't suicide, just because I don't understand the logistics surrounding like the definition of it.
It's because you're right. It is because they're carving out a moral barrier for themselves to say, oh yeah, well in this case, killing yourself is great. But it's not. That's because it's not suicide. It is. He killed himself. He has family. He has friends, presumably. He has people that are going to be affected by him leaving the planet in that way. It's suicide. It literally is suicide. He was a service member. Well, then, did he have any delusion about what the United States military was? The ones that like killed 1 million fucking Iraqis like a decade before. Why did he join? I think he was mentally ill. I think what you said is right, Olivia. I think he did. I think he did something that in his mind didn't hurt anybody, and he made the ultimate sacrifice for what he thought was a righteous cause of paramount importance. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think people need to be absolutely careful with how they fucking put him on a pedestal, because you're gonna end. Because more people are gonna kill themselves, and I don't think suicide should ever be glamorized. Even when a fucking monk does it, and it's like, wow, it should be more like, dude, that's fucking crazy. And it's horrible also. It's absolutely mental health. Then why isn't okay? People go, it's not a mental health issue. Then why the fuck isn't there tons of other people doing it? I'm sorry, you don't set yourself on fire. If he's a martyr, Jesus Christ. Some of y'all are lost. I don't know what to say. Some of y'all life sometimes wonders if like, I don't know, man. Chat is so fucking weird. I agree.
Okay, that's enough of that. I think he's just gonna chalk to his chat. I disagree on the mental health thing. I don't know if it's a mental health thing. I don't know. I don't have enough information. So the mental health thing, I would disagree. I don't think anyone's evil or wrong or demonic for thinking it might be mental health. I mean, come on, right? It's a valid question to ask. Was this man in his right mind when he literally set himself on fire? I think it's a valid question to ask. I don't know. And I don't think it's important either way, to be honest with you. I don't think it matters either way. Whether or not he was mentally ill, doesn't matter, right? We can look at the act itself, and mentally ill or not, we can still say, yo, this isn't something you should do. It's crazy. It's horrific. It's a tragedy. And we need to prevent more of this from happening. I think that, I don't know. 𝕭𝖐𝖓 was saying I was doing a Mott and Bailey, that no one was coming after Ethan Klein because of what he said here, even though that's the quote tweets that, again, those were the clips that the guy shared that was coming after him. So I'm just curious, and I wish 𝕭𝖓 was around. I could ask her directly, like, what exactly does she think they're criticizing Ethan Klein for, if not that, right? What exactly are they saying that he did, if not that? I don't understand. Who knows? Deprogrammer says, our society feels like a giant mental health problem sometimes. Man, my chat feels like a giant mental health problem sometimes, okay? Well, that's all I'm saying. But I still love you all. Right, I still love you all, even with your tisms. Okay. 𝕐𝖓 says it's definitely a giant mental health problem. Like I said, maybe. I just think you can do stupid things and crazy things without being actually crazy. I don't think you need a mental illness to engage in an act like this. And like I said, it's beside the point. It literally is beside the point. It does not matter whether he was mentally ill or not. It does not change my condemnation of it. It does not change how I treat it. And it doesn't change the advocacy I do about it at all. Because whether he was mentally ill or not, there are people who are out there who have depression, who have suicidal ideation, who are looking at this and thinking, well, I could become famous. I could become a martyr. I could be a hero. And who doesn't want to be a hero at the end of the day? Who doesn't want to be a hero? And so there are people who are watching this, who are looking at this, who are in the balance, if you will. Okay? And I think it's fair to be worried about which way they fall, whether or not they're going to choose life or choose not. And people criticize me on this, saying, oh, it's not your decision to make, it's their decision to make. Yeah, but I can absolutely judge their decision and try to influence it. And I think they're making the wrong decision. I think if you choose suicide, you've chosen the wrong decision. Just straight up. Straight up. I don't know, gang. What are your thoughts? What are some of my audience's thoughts on all of this, okay? On the Ethan Klein situation, on the serviceman who self-immolated situation, suicide in general, etc. What do you guys think? What are your views? Let me know. We got about 20 minutes to kill before I go to Tuna Chips stream, okay? Gene says he didn't mock 𝕵𝖎𝖎 enough. I find it uncouth to mock the man. I think it's crass, okay? I understand there is this and I don't even disagree with this, right? That there is a way of thinking saying we need to stigmatize this kind of behavior, and one of the ways you stigmatize a behavior is by mocking it. I understand it, but the man just died. Come on. We don't have to piss on his grave, okay? It's just uncouth. Like I said, it's kind of it's icky to me. Like I said though, I get it. I get the idea behind it. Though again, I think some people are just being mean-spirited about it. I think a lot of people are just being mean-spirited about it. And that's yeah, don't be cruel. There's no need to be cruel when it comes to this. Again, the man had people who loved him. The man had friends. The man had family. Don't be cruel about it. Elbow says, I think don't set yourself on fire is the single easiest bit of advice I could possibly give anyone. Yes, well. Elbow says, yeah, it's less treat him with some amount of respect for him and more so for his family, in my opinion. Being mean just to be mean isn't my vibe. I agree. I don't like being mean, usually. You have to get me mad before I enjoy being mean. And even when I do, I think it's probably wrong that I enjoy it. But again, I think slightly stigmatizing this is probably a good idea. It's probably a good idea. Temflix, come on. Yunnan says, it's really sad to think about that person's family left mourning for the rest of their lives because of one act you can't take back. Absolutely. Gene says, Origin is in the backstage. Let him in. I'm ranting by myself for a few minutes, and then I'm going to go to Tuna Chip. We're going to raid out into Tuna Chip stream, where you're going to see me talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because he wanted me to do a podcast. Tuna Chip has decided that he is going to do a podcast thing called Your Childhood Sucks, and I'm honored to be the first guest he selected. So I'm curious to see how it'll go. I know it's going to be a bit of whiplash when it comes to vibes, gang. I know there's going to be a lot of whiplash between what we're talking about now and what we're going to be talking about in about less than 20 minutes now. But yeah. Ralph is the best turtle. You shut your mouth. Donatello. Okay. Donatello was my favorite growing up. Donatello was best turtle. Absolutely. Okay. You had Leonardo. He's the leader. Okay. Donatello. He's the brains of the operation. It's the one I identified with most. You had Michelangelo. He's the life of the party. Okay. Party animal. Cowabunga dude. And then you had the emo Ralph. Raphael, I should say. Raphael was the emo, I hate mommy, I hate you dad, right, kind of guy with anger issues. Okay. Big Bad Booty Daddy says, I'm surprised Splinter wasn't your favorite because you were a rat. Well, I'm surprised that they haven't institutionalized you yet, sir. But it's coming, gang. I think most of my haters are going to disappear once insane asylums come back. Once you can be committed, like back in the day, right? The worst thing that Ronald Reagan ever did was get rid of these, okay? Because a lot of my haters are just going to disappear once that gets back in vogue. And it's coming. It's coming, okay? We have California, I believe, just reinstated some form of institutionalization. I'd have to look into it. We might do a panel on it soon. Raphael was your favorite because you have anger issues. Deprogram says, I graduated from Michelangelo to Donatello. Hell yeah. Look, we all got a little turtle in us, okay? We all got a little turtle in us. Some of us are Leonardos. We're leaders, okay? I have a little bit of that in me, but not a lot. It's very, very small. Then we have our Donatellos. There are our thinkers. They're the big brains, okay? Got a lot of that in me. The Raphael, the anger issues, a little bit, but not a lot. Probably less than Leonardo, okay? And then you had the party animal, okay? You had the Michelangelos. And I think, after Donatello, that would be my next biggest thing. Because I like pizza. I eat pizza all the time, okay? And Michelangelo liked pizza. That's how you go. That's how you do it. But, regardless, we are just kind of killing time. Anything else that has happened recently that you guys want me to talk about? So next week, we got some great shows coming up, okay? Let me just talk about that for a little bit. Okay, so on Sunday, we're going to be talking to Kamal. And Kamal is a YouTuber who has been popping off recently. He did a video called The Worst of Internet Politics, where he excoriates both the left and the right. Hassan and Steven Crowder, to be specific. It's a very good watch. He's done a few videos that are fairly well done, and he agreed to sit down and talk with me. And so Sunday, so it's a way different than I normally do. Sunday, we're going to be talking to him. It should be a fun discussion. Monday, I'm going to take off. Tuesday, we have Madame Genevieve to host call-ins. So you, yes, you, dear viewer, can call in and talk to me about whatever you like. On Wednesday, we are going to be talking about Coomer culture in porn, okay? And how this space treats sex positivity versus sex negativity. Is it a problem? Is it an issue? So that'll be fun. Socrates TV, thank you for the 20 months. Currently on an 18-month streak, damn. Socrates says, my culture is not a costume. Or which one are you talking about? Coomer culture? Damn, Socrates, I don't know. Socrates, okay, let me tell you, gang. Me and Socrates, we hung out in Ohio. We went karaokeing. We sang Man in the Box by Alice in Chains. It was a great time. The next event that Progressive Victory hosts, I hope it's in Pennsylvania, right? Like, I don't know where it'll be yet, but I know they're going to do more of them as the election gets closer. You guys should come. You guys should hang out with us. It's just a good time. Okay, it's just a good time. But no, Socrates, I'm actually really curious what your thoughts on the self-immolation guy is. I'm really you're one of the people who are much more left than I am on this, and you are much more pro-Palestine than I am on this. So I'm curious your take, because I actually think you're a pretty smart guy usually. So I'm just wondering what you think of it. He's gonna be reincarnated as a dragon for sure, 100%. Well, I hope. Tenflex says, I personally think you should be more responsible with firearms. Okay. Look, I don't like to mock. I'm not going to mock the guy, but I don't think he should be celebrated either. He's not a hero. But I've said this. We've gone over this. And I haven't finished my show for the week. Thursday, Kevin Logan will be debating on Israel and Palestine with someone very pro-Israel. And so if that's you, if you are my strongest Israeli soldier and you would like to debate Kevin Logan on the subject, reach out. We'll get that happen. We'll make that happen. Chip Chan says he's going to be reincarnated as a Strike Anywhere match. He will live as he died. Socrates says he did the most hardcore protest that you could possibly do. Socrates, that's not true. You know what's harder than that? Staying alive and working on the issue for years. Dedicating years of your life, hard work, day in, day out, to actually make a change, to go beat the streets, right? To put the pedal to the metal, the feet on the pavement, the pen to paper, to organize, to advocate, to legislate, to run for office, all these things, right? It's a lifetime's dedication. That's the most intense sort of protest you can do, okay? Much more difficult, much harder, and much longer as well. Oh, 11, do you actually want in backstage here? I'll let you in for a minute if you want. Yeah. Socrates says, I think there's a contradiction that what you're saying is probably likely necessary for long-term impact, but it's a fact that thousands of people are dying every few days. So there's an urgency. One more death won't save it. Well, yeah, this is a problem. People are dying, right? Why would more death solve this problem? Do you think people's minds have been changed by what what this man did? I don't think anyone's mind has been changed. I could be wrong, but I think it's just solidified the camps, right? Like, I don't think anyone who was pro-Israel before is no longer pro-Israel. I could be wrong, but you know what the discourse was the day after? Whether or not to use the phrase rest in power because he was a white colonizer. That was the discourse immediately after. I don't know. Could be wrong. We'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. It was an act of courage and honor. No. It was not. He's not a hero. We don't glorify. We don't romanticize. We don't normalize suicide. We don't. There's data to suggest when you glorify, romanticize, and normalize suicide, more suicide happens. I, for one, would like less people to set themselves on fire. I, for one, would like less people to die. And thus, again, we don't glorify, romanticize, normalize. We don't make a martyr out of this man. We don't turn him into a hero. We could say we don't have to mock him. We could say what he did was tragic. That's all we need. Beerwater says, Wick, stop having the right opinion. It's crazy. It's crazy the hate I get for it. Yeah, the monk in 1963 was wrong to do what he did too. He wasn't a hero. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. The Rage Against the Machine metal cover, right? That guy. On a scale of 1 to 10, how justified a cause do you think he was self-immolating for? It's a good cause to, it's a good cause. No shade on the cause. But you don't self-immolate for your cause. There is no cause so righteous that you should be setting yourself, even if it was a 11 on your scale, you should not set yourself on fire for it. What basis do you declare their sacrifice is wrong? He killed himself. That is wrong. What about going to war with a 99% chance of dying? Much different. You are putting yourself in a position where you know, so there's a huge difference. And I'll be quick about this because we do have to go to the tuna ship thing soon. But there is a huge difference between engaging in an act that you know you won't survive, but you are like, I'm going to hold the line, right, while the civilians evacuate the city, and I'm going to buy them enough time. I know I'm going to die doing it, but I'm going to get as many civilians out as they possibly can, and I'm going to fight the enemy that's coming at me, right? And I'm like 99.999% chance I'm not going to make it back, right? That is much different of an act than self-immolation or suicide in general. It's a self-sacrifice because you are having a measurable impact, or at least attempting to have a measurable impact in the immediate future, right? Not for awareness, not for any of that, but the longer you last, the more people get to leave. And even in that situation, you're not trying to die, right? You're not trying to die. You're trying to live as long as possible. As long as possible. I don't know. If you can't see the difference, I don't know what to tell you. We are, however, because I am honored to be Tuna Chip's first ever guest on his podcast. Let me ask if he's ready for a raid. And we'll raid out to him because I love him. Tuna Chip's my buddy. Tuna Chip. Also, we sung a duet at karaoke at Ohio, right? So let me send him a little message. Ready for the raid. And you guys are going to be able to find me there. So he has a whole setup. The reason I'm not streaming this is because he has a whole setup. It's going to be, the production values are going to be through the roof, gang. I saw a few of them. So we're going to end stream, and you're going to go and you're going to enjoy Tuna Chip's fun times there. He says, wait a minute. So we're going to give him a minute. Okay. Okay, he's ready. Okay, here's we go. Let us raid out into Tuna Chip. Let me make sure I'm doing it right. Let me make sure I'm getting the right person. I'm pretty sure I am. Are you live yet, Tuna Chip? I know I follow you. Oh, there you are. There you are. Okay, gang. Remember, spam those emotes. We're going to jump in his chat, and I will see you guys. Cryborn, I'm sorry. Cryborn, you can give me money later. I'm sorry. But yeah, we are going to go, and we're going to raid out. So